Hi there, it's Doris, your traveling golf diva, and today we're headed to a beautiful ocean front in Ocean Grove, New Jersey with Michele Gannon.
Hello, divas and gents, and welcome to the Traveling Golf Diva Podcast, where golf meets travel, lifestyle, and unforgettable adventures. Here's your host, Doris Muscarella.
Welcome, Michele, to the Traveling Golf Diva Podcast.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
You know, you found it Mary's Place by the Sea, which I happened to find it in an LPGA announcement because it's so amazing. So I thought I'd bring you to the podcast to inspire some divas out there. But as I was reading your background, I was so impressed as to your inspiration. I want you to tell me what was your aha moment for this Mary's Place by the Sea.
Well, I thank you, Doris, for this opportunity to share a little bit about our mission, which is now in our 17th year. So we are a nonprofit. We support women who are in treatment or up to 2 years post-treatment diagnosed with cancer. It's any type of cancer and it's any stage. And this came about 17 years ago, back in January of 2009, when I was home just struggling with the flu, a short-term illness that lagged on for about 2 weeks. At the time, my children were 2, 4, and 6, so they were piled around me in bed, poking me. Are you better now? Now? And I realized that all of our responsibilities as women, as mothers, as spouses, as daughters, as caregivers, as working women, our responsibilities are plenty and they just keep going on a daily basis. Now insert an illness. And my thought was, how does a woman give herself permission, or does her community, her surrounding community, all those people who are pulling on her, give her permission when she's ill to have that time to just hit the pause button and step out of her responsibilities, even if just for a moment, just to catch her breath and collect her thoughts. And I really did focus on cancer because I knew that that wasn't an illness that's going to go away in 2 to 4 weeks. That's something that's going to take a little longer and a lot of energy and a lot of attention and self-care. And the idea would not leave me. By the end of that month, I had a dream one night, and in that dream, Mary came to me, Mary being Jesus' mother, and she showed up in the dream as just a very empathetic woman. It wasn't a religiously intimidating dream. It was one that was, it showed me empowerment and just being cared for by another woman. And in the dream, she walked me right down our block where we are now towards the ocean. And with every step, I felt very confident that she was guiding me to start a place where women could go to do all those things that I had mentioned. And that was 17 years ago. So we started it in June of that year. And it's grown into such an incredible space, sacred space for our community.
Wow, that's so impressive. And you've been honored as USA Today's Women of the Year. Tell me about that. That's exciting.
Well, that came as a surprise at just a phone call from the Gannett Foundation, and they just said, you know, for the state of New Jersey, you are being recognized as one of the Women of the Year. And I love that it was plural because I don't do any of this alone. I have a great tribe of women who are equally passionate. And so receiving that honor gave us actually a lot more national exposure than we'd ever had before. So it truly did open up the floodgates of women who were home, living in quiet desperation, looking for a place to go where they could be on retreat with like-minded women and just breathe. And that, I believe, is where it just opened it up to communities who had never heard of us, which is is where we are now, with having a wait list of over 100 women per month to come in here.
Wow, that's amazing. So, some of the divas here, our listeners, are strong, adventurous women who juggle careers, families, and passion for golf and travel. What message would you share with women like that they feel overwhelmed and rarely put themselves first? Because, when you have something like this, it's a shocker, number one, and you feel overwhelmed. What message do you have for these women?
It's an important message, Doris, in a couple of different layers. So being surrounded by our guests, and we don't call our guests patients, we call them guests. They're guests in our home, in our retreat. And being surrounded by women who are facing potentially life-threatening diagnoses, who are facing impending shortened lifespan, who are trying to put all of their affairs in order. I think that the message is clear in that we have to advocate for ourselves as women to take more time to enjoy life, to relax, to have the moments of joy, to have hobbies. I believe that we've become so conditioned to be on 24/7, especially with our mobile phones, and always feeling like we have to answer every email, even if it's in the middle of the night. And it's okay to step back. It's okay to take a moment and to take some time for yourself. And, I, in our meet and greet around the table every retreat, and we do this 3 times a week, 12 months out of the year, I will say to the women and acknowledge, you are all sitting here, and it probably took about 3 months for you to have this reservation. And then you probably had to think through your mind of, how am I going to step out of all of my responsibilities for 2 nights and 3 days for this retreat? And is it being selfish? Should I really do this? And I always say to them, I'm sure most of you thought about canceling about a half a dozen times, and they all nod yes. And then I say, but I applaud you, because for this brief moment, you said, I choose me. And that there's nothing wrong with that. And that, I believe, is where the invitation to begin healing and put yourself course correct, start on another path. It starts at that moment when you say, I choose me.
Absolutely. I read a book many years ago, The Power of You, written by Dr. Priscilla Murata. And in there it said, healthy, selfish. You need to be healthy, selfish. You need to take care of yourself. And sometimes you're perfectly correct. It's work, it's children, it's husband, it's all over, and we don't take care of ourselves. And then something happens, and then you go, oh my God, what happened to all these years? So you have to stop, be healthy, selfish, take care of yourself. And, this is very important. But I like the fact that you took the time of creating a place. It's like heaven on earth, if I may say. Heaven on earth, where you take care of women, you provide them with meditation, nutrition, workshops, and especially by the sea I love the sea. I mean, it's so soothing and relaxing. Why do you believe women, especially those facing cancer, need this kind of retreat?
So what we found through 17 years and through over 17,000 women, meeting them and finding out where are their areas, where are their gaps in care. And, when we first started, it felt like the mindset was either choosing conventional care or alternative care. It was one or the other. And there was such a stigma behind the word holistic or integrative. And now, thankfully, there has been a huge shift in the medical community, because I think our medical community is understanding the importance of incorporating services and sessions that tap into the mind, the body, and the soul. And by addressing all of these and having discovery, self-discovery through oncology massage, which awakens a lot of your circulation and starts, breaking down some of the scar tissue and brings on extreme relaxation, by having Reiki, which is energy healing, by doing meditation, which is learning to kind of put a harness around the monkey mind with all of the popcorn of thoughts and anxieties and fears, and really start to heal at the cellular level, and then bring in different experiences like expressive writing, which is journaling and having prompts that, it's kind of been a lost art to write anymore with our hands, and connecting the mind to the hand and putting words on paper. We're all about tap, 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 tap on the computer board. There's healing in that. By doing expressive art therapy, and having paint go to a canvas, and by having counseling and learning coping strategies, and tapping, sound meditation, all of these services are opening up the blood flow, the circulation, and we see it at the cellular level. And it is actually making the medicine more effective. And the doctors are agreeing with it. We are one of their first lines of defense when they are working with a patient in chemotherapy, in radiation, and say, you know what? Here's a brochure, Mary's Place by the Sea. Call them. You could use this service. And it's that changes, and a woman will leave here with shoulders back, head held high, and feeling a strength of hope that she didn't have when she arrived. And there's something very impactful about it, and it's very powerful. And one of the biggest takeaways that we have is the community. It's the community that they're building of like-minded women, and sitting on a couch in this beautiful seaside resort vacation home with a cup of tea, and really feeling that they can have authentic conversations. I think that is where the shift happens, and the community is building. And you see it as well in the golf community. You see it on the golf courses. You see, women just kind of slowing down and slowing their pace down and enjoying that time to be outdoors. And it's all about building those connections and really reassuring every person that you do not have to do this alone. We're not meant to do it alone. And there's a group of people you can lean on. And that's Mary's Place by the Sea.
That is awesome. You said something really important, community. We've lost that. And this is just my opinion, of course. We've lost that after COVID. We were all isolated, and we just became so dependent on the computer and on our phones that we lost the community. And in the Traveling Golf Diva, I am trying to connect with women all over the world so we can connect, because I feel there is a need for connection. And not wait till, we have a terminally ill disease or anything. Let's connect now. Let's get together and talk about things, and love what you said about being authentic. Let's be authentic. Let's say how we really feel, because we try to hide our feelings also. There is this movie in Paramount Plus with Michelle Pfeiffer and Kurt Russell called The Madison.
I love it. Yeah.
I loved it. I watched it twice because there are hidden messages within that series. And the two that really stood out for me is, number one, never have regrets. Live the moment. Do whatever you want to do. And don't have regrets, because her husband passed away and now she has regrets. She missed out on that gorgeous Montana view, number one. And number two, when she stands up to her daughter and says, I'm 65 years old, I'm going to make my own decision, because she lived for everybody else but herself. So that stuck in my mind. And now I am thinking the same way. This is my time to enjoy life, travel, golf, meet wonderful women that are on a mission and a vision like you. Kudos to you. You have my deepest admiration. For a person that's not in New Jersey, how can we help? What can we do?
So it's amazing what has happened through, you brought up a really good point that I just want to touch on really quickly, and that was COVID. COVID was a shift. So prior to COVID, in 2020, the average age of our guests was 64. Post COVID, the average age of our guest is 43. So 43 years of age, these are women in childbearing years, working women, and it's attributed to, a lot of it is stress. And it's all the stress that we went through on every generation. COVID had its impact, a negative impact on every generation, from babies all up, and I've seen it in my own children as well. So having that isolation and being so far away from everyone, it had such a negative impact on our society. And so what we did was we launched a virtual program because we wanted to desperately keep women connected in the Mary's Place community. And they were struggling. They were isolated. They weren't seeing their doctors regularly. So they had a lot of anxiety around in that time frame. And we took all of the services that we were offering in-house. If we could move them to a virtual platform, we did that. So that's what we did. And by that, it connected us really globally. So we have women from Kenya and London, England, coming on onto our virtual program. And it has brought our communities so tight from across the world. Everything that we offer, accommodations, services, food, the meals, everything that we offer to our guests is at no cost to them. And we do that, and we've done that for 17 years by fundraising. So for your community and for your listeners, anyone out there who is knows someone diagnosed with cancer, a woman, or is themselves battling cancer, we want them to have the opportunity to come to us. And it just brings every woman from across the country and the world, and we see that we really are not that different. We're all very, very connected in this world, and having the ability to share our awareness within your platform is a true gift. So through our website, you can learn more, our social media sites, we're at marysplacebythesea.org. And this opportunity, just sharing with you what we're doing, it is a great benefit, and I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So you're having a golf tournament that I couldn't get into.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. That's okay. I'll make sure I'm in there next year. Tell me about that.
So this is kind of, it's comical. So 6 years ago, we looked at, typically everything that we do is very, very female centered. And this was my learning experience. So we said, okay, we need to create a fundraiser where we can bring in the male dominant gender and have them understand what Mary's Place is and have them support us. So the first couple of years, it was all very male dominated. And then last year, I said at an LPGA local event, they were having a holiday party benefiting Mary's Place by the Sea. And I was sharing on the microphone about Mary's Place and what we do, and having all of this room filled with women golfers. I said, wouldn't it be amazing if we actually shifted this fundraiser and had more women than men? And because I knew it would change the whole dynamic of it. And that night, 20 women registered. I never even expected it. And then the next day, 20 more women registered. And before we knew it, we hadn't even launched it. Our organizers were just like, are you kidding me, Michelle? You just did that? Because we haven't even launched it, and it filled up. And I'm so excited for it because it's an opportunity for there to be such female energy on the course, and it's happening at the end of June. So for those who can't come into the golf outing, we have this virtual raffle that we're doing where we have some incredible courses that have donated their foursomes or threesomes, and we're raffling them off as well. And then all of that, the proceeds of that will support our guests.
That is awesome. So we'll get in there next year for sure. We'll put all that
Absolutely.
information in the show notes. And I would love to be part of it and be help in any way I can. We love the traveling. This podcast is about enhancing adventure off and on the course. I love the fact that you have a beach walk and you have a golf tournament. But I want to know, out of all these 17 years of experience, can you pinpoint a couple of them that just were so life-changing, gratifying, line-changing? They changed somebody's life completely.
There are countless, but a few step out because they taught me something. And those are the ones that stand out in my mind. So early on, we had a guest who... she emailed us and that she wanted to come to Mary's place, and she signed it anonymous, not realizing that we could see her name in the email. But we just wrote back, "Dear Anonymous," and respected that space. And she said, "I feel very intimidated, and I don't know if I want to come there, but I'm going to have my daughter come with me. She's my caregiver," and her daughter was in her 20s. So her daughter came with her and was sitting with her. And within maybe about 30 minutes, she asked her daughter to leave. And she said, I don't need you here. I'd like you to go. You don't need to stay. I'm fine. And so it was evident that she could be self-sufficient and care for herself. And so we were sitting in the living room and we were chatting, and she just started breaking down. And I said, what's going on? Where can I support you right now? And she said, "I have been faking it for so many years." She said, "I've been scheduling my chemotherapy at 5 a.m. in the morning so that I don't interrupt anyone else's day and I don't impact them or inconvenience anyone. And when I'm in the bathroom and I'm vomiting, I put the sound machine on so they don't hear me. And then I will say to them, I come downstairs and I'll put a little lipstick on because that makes me look like I'm well." And she said, "But I'm actually dying inside, and I just can barely keep my head up." And they'll say, "Mom, are you okay?" My husband will say, "Carmen, are you okay?" And she said, I would always say, "I'm fine. I'm fine." And she said, "But I have to stop lying and I have to stop faking it. And I need to start telling them how I feel. And I'm not going to get through this unless I become very honest and authentic." And I think when she said that, I realized that we have this opportunity to help the women who come to us have those conversations. We just need to guide them because many of us don't even know how to start that, how to say it without feeling whiny or vulnerable, but how to really, in a loving way, tell your family how to support them. Unfortunately, she lost her battle a couple years after that, but she came to us frequently and she had made such a shift, and it helped me as well. And in another way, I had felt like starting Mary's Place naively, because it was a divine dream. I felt like this was the cure. This was what was going to cure women from cancer if they came to Mary's Place. And then as those were not surviving and they were passing away, I was like I said, "Oh my goodness, I got this dream wrong. I got it wrong. I don't know what I was thinking." And Families showed me, of the survivors, showed me that every minute that a guest was here at the house, she was gaining peace. She was settling things inside of her, and preparing herself. And we were giving them the tools. And I realized that was an impact as well. It's just such a place of such gratitude that's the motivation. In this nonprofit world, in an economy that is struggling, in uncertain times, all the costs of living and all of that's gone up. And there are so many so many reasons to say, we just can't keep doing this. The gratitude and the life-changing conversations that we have with our guests in this house, it fuels us. It keeps us going every day because we are making an impact, and not just for the women here, but then they go home and it's a butterfly effect for their families. And having the families all come to the walkathon that you mentioned along the boardwalk that's in October, it's not just the guests, it's all of their family members, and they all bring a major group of them. So every retreat here is just 8 women, maximum number of 8 women. So it's very small and intimate. The walkathon last year brought over 2,000 people. And that was a moment that took my breath away, because I realized how large this community is building. And that was just those who could get here from the tri-state area. That didn't even count all of those who were having walkathons virtually in their own states to support us. And we did surpass 250,000 for that fundraiser. So I'm pretty proud of that.
That's awesome. Kudos to you. We will put this information. I would like for you to mention your website if you can, and what you're looking for, like, donations, volunteers. What do you need, and how can we help?
The website is marysplacebythesea.org. And right on our website, you'll see our events that are coming up. Many of them can be supported long distance with donations. And our next chapter is to build another home and to expand. And we're looking in areas of Pennsylvania. So take it away from the ocean and go into like the wooded areas of Pennsylvania. And it's ready for that. Our community has been so strong, and it just keeps expanding. So I am so grateful for anyone who looks us up. Every donation is supporting those women who are coming into this home and providing this retreat for them that can change their life. And they have shared that with us. So we just have to keep going.
Never stop. Never, ever stop. Thank you so much, Michele, for your time, for what you're doing. We'd love to support you in any way we can. I want to thank the listeners for this journey we took today in New Jersey. I am Doris, your traveling golf diva. Until next time, keep swinging, keep traveling, and always add a touch of diva flair to the game of golf. Subscribe to our monthly newsletter, share, and follow us on social media. Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to the Traveling Golf Diva podcast. Be sure to subscribe, share, and follow. Find the Diva on Facebook at The Traveling Golf Diva and on Instagram at The Golf Diva. And be sure to visit the TravelingGolfDivaPodcast.com for more inspiration. See you next time.